All right, we are going to start a celebrity portrait drawing. Although if you want to do like your friends, maybe they're a celebrity to you, or maybe you feel that you are a celebrity and you want to do a self-portrait, that's fine too. But you're going to do a portrait drawing. You have two options for this project. You can either use analogous colors or you can use complementary colors. And I have some examples of both up here of the ultimate end of where we're heading with this. But to start out, you're going to be using colored pencils for this assignment. Whether you use analogous or complementary, you're going to be using colored pencils. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to create value scales for a dark value, or I should say a color, dark to light, a second color, dark to light, and a third color, dark to light. At this point, maybe you're just kind of experimenting. What colors would you like to use? So you're going to do that. On the back side, so you're going to create value scales on the front. On the back side, this top one, you're going to create an analogous color scheme. So you're going to pick colors, like here's an analogous color scheme. 3 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. It says here, create a design using flowing lines and geometric shapes. Fill in using an analogous color scheme, blending one color into the next, dark to light and light to dark. So you create your design and then you use an analogous color scheme within each section. So like here's one, there's one, blues and greens, okay, violets and blues, analogous, yellows, greens, and blues, okay, so side by side colors. Just to kind of get a feel of how do you go, if you're using multiple colors within one section, how do you go from light to dark? Kind of like how when we did way back with the candy drawings, when you used the oil pastels to go light to dark, if you practice that. Same thing, but now you're using colored pencils. Then the bottom box, it says complementary color scheme. Create a design using straight lines and geometric shapes. Fill in using one complementary color scheme, blending one color into the next. So you're picking, like this one they used, red and green. And you'll get these handouts so that you can see them up close, complementary color pair. Here they did orange and blue, complementary color pair. Here they also used orange and blue, and then here we have another red and green. So again, this right here, both sides of this are practice of how to use the colors, how to get the value change, how to go from light to dark, using the two colors together within the same area. Now, to start the project, you're either going to pick, so after you've decided this, you can look and you say, I really like complementary colors. So maybe you're going to go to the complementary color scheme. Or maybe you're like, no, I really like the look of analogous colors. So you're going to go to the analogous color scheme. Basically, they're the same directions. The difference is this one will talk about analogous colors. The grading rubric will be about using an analogous color scheme, making sure all 3 colors are next to each other on the color wheel, that kind of thing. Where complementary colors, same directions, but again, this one you will get graded on whether or not you used a complementary color scheme. So, same ideas, but you get to choose which color scheme you want to use. You're going to need a reference. So up here you can see some examples of past students' works. Now, this one, awesome, of Jimi Hendrix. However, in the actual photo reference, he was smoking, not school appropriate. So in order for the student to be able to use it, he had to eliminate that part of the drawing from, or the image from his drawing. It does have to be school appropriate, so keep that in mind. If they're wearing something in their picture that is inappropriate for school, you cannot include it in your picture. But really, it's just their portraits. So we have like Ray Charles. Here you can kind of see the image that they were using of Will Smith and then how they actually created it using the different values, different shades of blues and violets. Here's reds, violets, and blues. I think that's slash. Could be wrong about that. This is not Harry Potter. It is John Lennon and George Lopez. So you can kind of see how this was all color pencil, student works from this class. So you're going to want to find a celebrity that you like, somebody that you're interested in. Make sure you have a photo reference, and then you're going to create their portrait drawing. So you're going to use 9x12 paper, okay, and the image, and you're going to create it on here. Over here we have, I don't know the model's name, but it was a model that the student used, and they used oranges and oranges and blues for complementary. This one actually did a self-portrait, oranges and blues for complementary again, which is totally fine. Self-portraits are awesome as well. This one was a self-portrait of a student as well. She used yellows and violets. So you're going to have a photo reference. You're going to draw it out with pencil first, and then you're going to decide, are you going to use an analogous color scheme or a complementary color scheme? So I'm going to kind of go through this, and I'll change it up as I need to. But we've already learned about color schemes when we did our color cube. So you know what colors, what an analogous color scheme is versus a complementary color scheme. So my job for this project is to use what I learned about color schemes and then our portraits, because we've done portraits before, so we're using those same ideas again, to create an analogous color scheme or a complementary color scheme drawing. By the end of the project, I will have created a realistic, so even though the colors aren't real, the look of it has to be real. We have to be able to tell who it is in the picture. We can tell who this is. It looks realistic even though the colors aren't. So, a realistic portrait drawing of a black and white photograph of a celebrity using colored pencils, correct facial feature placement, and values. Whichever color scheme you're using, that's the same objective, just making sure you're using those colors. Helpful hints, portrait drawing should take up most of the paper. That's the purpose of this, is to show the portrait, not background. Add as much detail as possible, pay close attention to the value changes and include them in your drawing. Make sure you are using both complementary color pairs, like both complementary colors of the pair that you've decided, or make sure that you are using all three analogous colors throughout your work. So either 3 colors or 2 colors. And your finished work should look realistic even though the colors are not. So step 1, you're going to make sure your name is on your work. Step 2, you're going to choose your either analogous color scheme or a complementary color scheme. Step 3, it says value scale, value sphere. You pretty much did that already when you were practicing, so you're good. Making sure that you know how to get the highlights, the values, the shadows, going from light to dark, that kind of thing. If you need some scrap paper to try it again, to really figure out now that you know what colors you're going to use, go for it. Step 4, pencil drawing with pencil. Lightly drawing your portrait, including the hair, the neck, the shoulders. So you're kind of looking from here to here for the person. Okay, neck, remember we don't want floating heads. They have to be attached to the neck. And then the tops of our shoulders. Once you have the placement and size of the drawing you want, start adding details. Step 5, color drawing. Once you have the portrait drawing the way you want it, create the shadows and highlights from the photo, either using the analogous color scheme or the complementary color scheme. Step 6, values. Once all the details have been added, start creating all of the values you see and where you see them in the drawing. Okay? So, again, using either all 3 analogous or both complementary. Step 7, shadows and highlights. Make sure you add any shadows and highlights you see in order to make the drawing look 3D. Step 8, the background. Color the background, so around the portrait, using values to separate the portrait from the background. Dark background behind light portrait areas, light background behind dark portrait areas. The background should be blended to make it look like natural lighting. So you can kind of see how since it was kind of dark around the edges here, the background is lighter. It was a little bit dark, or the light for the girl's face, so the actual background is darker. The girl's hair was light, so the background is darker. This kind of blends in a little bit, but I'm not really worried about that because he stands out so much from here. In this one, you know, where it was kind of lighter, they went darker with the background. So kind of keep that in mind. And then step 9, grade yourself using the grading rubric and complete all reflection pieces. So, if we go to the grading rubric, and then you can see I have the examples down here on both of them so you can kind of see. 9 to 10 points for composition. Strong, thoughtful, creative composition. The drawing fills up most, if not all, of the paper. Same for both. Facial details, 9 to 10 points. The entire portrait is drawn in, includes all details from the photo reference. 9 to 10 points. Realistic facial feature placement. All facial features are in the correct proportion and the correct location within the head of the portrait based on the specifics from the photo reference. Drawing is realistic. It's not a cartoon. We are not cartoons. Your drawing should not look like a cartoon. For 9 to 10 points, the analogous color scheme. All 3 colors are side by side on the color wheel and are used. For complementary, 1 complementary color pair was used. Only 2 colors are present and are complementary, so direct opposites of each other on the color wheel. And then the points go down from there. Color values, 9 to 10 points. For analogous colors, all 10 values are clearly represented. All 3 colors were created to create the values. For complementary, 9 to 10 points. All 10 values are clearly represented. Both colors were used to create the values. So you can see the difference. But basically we're doing the same thing, just different color schemes. 9 to 10 points for colored pencil, control materials, media, and processes. Outstanding exploration and experimentation with the materials, which are the colored pencils we're using. Highly accomplished ability to control the material. All colors are consistent and the color is bold. Look how bold this. Now this is getting a little washed out. It kind of is hazy. This is bold. This is bold. This is bold. This is a little bit hazy. It's not quite as bold to be able to see across the room as easily. This was bold. This is a little bit hazy. Okay, so you can kind of see the difference between, wow, I can see it from across the room. Those are really bold colors too. I might need to get closer in order to make them out. You want it to be able to be seen from across the room. All right, background. 9 to 10 points. Outstanding ability to create a background that looks like natural lighting. Highly accomplished ability to use values to separate the portrait from the background. The dark background behind light portrait areas, light background behind dark portrait areas. For 9 to 10 points, outlines. Outstanding ability to eliminate all outlines. Because again, these are realistic and none of us have an outline around us, so neither should our drawings. Highly accomplished ability in creating opposing values, meaning opposite values, dark or light, in order to eliminate all outlines. All outlines were eliminated, worked into the values through the use of the different, either analogous colors or complementary colors. Craftsmanship, 9 to 10 points. Careful time and extreme care is put into the entire drawing. All background areas are clean and smudge-free. Excellent use of class work time. And 9 to 10 points. It is on time, it is complete when you go to turn it in. So again, once you've practiced both analogous and complementary, you'll decide which one you want to use. You will also decide who is the photo reference, whether it's a celebrity, your favorite person, musician, actor, actress, model, whoever. Realistic human being. We're not doing cartoons whatsoever. Bring a photo reference or somehow get a photo reference of it. Draw it out to the best of your ability, and then you will use color pencils to create your image. Remember, to get a bold color, you do need to press a little bit harder with the color pencil. You want it to be seen from across the room. You don't want this kind of hazy or fuzzy look to your work. If it looks that way, go back and press harder. You really want this to be bold. Maybe go to your partner next to you and say, is this bold enough? And be honest. No, you need to press a little bit harder because it's only going to make the work better. And you will get a handout that kind of shows you up close and personal what these look like when they're done. So that is what you're going to do. Again, you can kind of see how other students have chosen to do theirs. Hopefully, if you have any questions, kind of ask each other. You guys, we've done a lot of portraits in here, especially first semester, but we've done them so that you should be able to kind of remember how to do them. We did them in Intro to Art. So kind of pull those past memories out in order to do this. Remember, they have to be school appropriate, including if the person has anything in their hands, anything on like the top part of their shirts. It has to be able to be shown. If a kindergartner walked in the room, it should be okay for them to see. All right, good luck. I'm excited to see not only who you've chosen, but what color scheme you've chosen, and to see how it turns out at the end and what they look like, because I'll be back, in a few weeks and be able to see all this work that you've done so far, and see where we're at. So read the directions that are associated with whatever color scheme that you've chosen. Make sure you get your color scheme rubric so that you can grade it correctly. Do the reflection, make sure your name's on both, and then turn them in when you're done. Good luck.